Good day, everyone. Today, we'll talk about the human sexuality response. So, human sexuality is the expression of sexual sensation and related intimacy between human beings, as it is the way people experience and expresses themselves sexually. The biological and physical aspects of sexuality largely concern the human reproductive functions, including the human sexual response cycle. So, the sexual response cycle refers to the sequence of physical and emotional changes that occur as a person becomes sexually aroused and participates in sexually stimulating activities, including intercourses and masturbation. Knowing how your body responds during each phase of the cycle can enhance your relationship and help you pinpoint the cause of sexual dysfunction. So, in the sexual in the sexual response cycle, there are four different phases. So, the first phase is the desire. The second phase is the arousal or the excitement. The third phase is the orgasm. And the last phase, fourth phase, is the resolution. So, both men and women can experience these phases, although the timing may be different. When we say different in timing, for example, me and my girlfriend have having a sexual intercourse, it is unlikely that we both reach our orgasms at the same time. So it is unlikely to happen that me and my partner will be um, reach our orgasm at the same time. So that is unlikely to happen. So some of these stages may be absent during some sexual intercourse. Not all of these, not all of these phases will be present during sexual intercourse. So in phase one, the desire, general characteristic of this phase, which can last for from a few minutes to several hours, and may include any of the following. So muscle tension increases, heart rate weakens, and breathing gets faster. Skin may become flushed, or blotches of redness may appear on the chest and back. Nipples become hardened or erect. Blood flow on the genital increases, resulting in swelling of the human's clitoris and labia minora, and erection of man's penis. Vaginal lubrication may begin, and the woman's breasts become fuller, and vaginal walls begin to swell. The man's testicles swell, his scrotum tightens, and he begins secreting a lubricating liquid. It is important to note that everyone has different sexual experiences. So we have different sexual experiences. Some may not consistently experience the above changes. So in phase 2, arousal or the excitement, the general characteristic of this phase, which extends to the brink of orgasms, include the following. So the changes begun in the first phase get more intense. So in here in phase 2, kung unsa ka intense ang phase 1, mas mo intense pa ang phase 2. So the vaginal continues to swell from increased blood flow, and the vaginal walls turn a darker color. The woman's clitoris become highly sensitive and may even be painful to be touched. So the man's naman, testicles are withdrawn up into the scrotum, and breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure continues to increase. Muscle spasms may begin in the feet, face, and hands. Tension in the muscles increases. So mo to ang phase 3. Phase 2. In phase 3, the orgasms, this phase is the climax of the sexual response cycle. So it is the shortest of the phases and generally lasts only few seconds. So diri na to katong intense na kayo kanang kuan na kayo mo ba? Ganado na kayo, paspas na. So generally characterized by the space including the following. So, involuntary muscles contraction begins. So, just like when you are watching movie and it includes some sexual intercourses or masturbation, you will see that a man, when he masturbate, his body is well straight up and like mugahi siya. Pag mo contract siya muscle bisag wala niya ganahi. So mao na siya. Blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing at their highest rate with a rapid intake of oxygen. Muscles in the feet spasms. There is a sudden forceful release of sexual tension. In women, the muscles of the vagina contract. The uterus may also undergo rhythmic contractions. In men, rhythmic contractions of the muscles at the base of the penis results in the ejaculation of semen. So, a rash or a sex flush may appear over the entire body. So, your body will be blush, red, like red ka. Yeah, when you're done. When you're in the phase 3, when you are intense na jud, diha na ka nang wala na kag kuha kayo niya, panington ka. Mato siya ang phase 3. So, in phase 4, resolution during this phase, the body slowly returns to its normal level of functioning, and swelled and erect body parts return to their previous size and color. So, and in phase 4 kay recap murag balik na ang natural na ikaw, no? Yeah, maka-feel ka og tired. This phase is marked in some by a general sense of well-being and often fatigue. So, maka-experience ka kakapoy, kahuman, no? Ngita ng tubig. Some women are capable of a rapid return to the orgasms, faced with further sexual stimulation, and may experience multiple orgasms. Men typically need recovery time after orgasm, called a refractory period. So, ang male kay, unlike sa female kay, wala, pas-pas ra. Maka-experience sila orgasm na sa ikahuman nila ka orgasm, parang ma-reach nila orgasm, taw-taw, pwede na sad sila ka-feel o orgasm na sad. Unlike men, na ikahuman nila pa gawas, kay need pa sila o rest, mapahuway pa sila, para maka-recover ilang body. No? So, men typically need recovery time after orgasm. So, mao to, no? Need siya recovery time during which they cannot reach orgasm again. The duration of the refractory period varies among individuals and changes with age. It depends on their age, moods, no? So, that's all.
The diversity of sexual behavior, sexual orientation, gender identity, and express. What is sexual orientation? An inherent or immutable, enduring emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to other people. What is gender identity? One's innermost concept of self as male, female, a blend, or both, or neither. How individuals perceive themselves and what they call themselves. One's gender identity can be the same or different from their sex assigned at birth. Gender expression is external appearance of one's gender identity, usually expressed through behavior, clothing, haircut, or voice, and which may or may not conform to socially defined behaviors and characteristically and typically associated with being either masculine or feminine. A transgender is an umbrella term for people whose gender identity and or expression is different from the cultural expectations based on the sex they were assigned at birth. Being transgender does not imply a specific sexual orientation. Therefore, Transgender people may identify as straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, and etc. Discrimination and impact on mental health. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people often suffer from various forms of discrimination, stigma, and social exclusion, including physical and psychological abuse, bullying, persecution, or economic alienation. Moreover, experience of discrimination may occur in various areas such as employment, education, and healthcare, but also in the context of the meaningful interpersonal relationships, including family. How is sexual orientation different from gender identity? We use the acronym LGBT to describe the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. The first three letters, LGB, refers to sexual orientation. The T refers to issues of gender identity. Gender identity is your own internal personal sense of being a man or a woman, or as someone outside of that gender binary. Sexual orientation describes a person's enduring physical, romantic, and/or emotional attraction to another person. For example, straight, gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Transgender people may be straight, lesbian, gay, or bisexual. For example, a person who transitions from male to female is attracted solely to men would be typically identified as a straight.
Good day, sir. My topic for today is about erogenous zone. But before that, let me first introduce myself. My name is Rustom Gabriel L. Olbalta from BSMT 1117 Group 2. So, erogenous zones are areas of the human body that are especially sensitive during sexual foreplay. Stimulating these areas can encourage relaxation, promote blood flow, build arousal, enhance sexual pleasure, and help you and your partner achieve orgasm. Common erogenous zones include the armpits, lower abdomen, mouth, neck, breast, buttocks, shoulders, lower back, and genitals. Every person responds differently to stimulation in these areas, and factors like timing, mood, partner choice, and the types of stimulation can impact your preference. And then the genitals, specifically including the clitoris, the cervix, the vagina, and the testicles. Second part is how to stimulate erogenous zone. The first, check it with the individual. Everyone has erogenous zones. The levels of pleasure that each person receives upon stimulation of these areas varies widely. The best way to enjoy erogenous zones while promoting sexual health and wellness is to talk to your partner to determine what they like or if you're both comfortable with it. Exploring in a safe environment to see what you both like. The second part, experiment with different sensations. You can use your hands and mouth to stimulate erogenous zones, or lubricants and toys like feather tickle, a gentle nibble, a liquid lube, or a vibrator or other sex toy. You can also try temperature play, for instance, trailing an ice cube around your partner's navel or drinking hot tea and then trailing your tongue along the nape of the neck. Then third, take it slow. Slow. Teasing foreplay can be extremely rewarding for you and your partner because it builds anticipation and elongates pleasure. As you work to stimulate your partner, go slowly and take your time with each body part, building up the pleasure as you enjoy the experience. The fourth, explore during masturbations. Erogenous zones aren't just useful during partner sex. They can be a great way to become more in tune with your own body during solo masturbation. Explore different parts of your body during solo play to discover sensitive areas. It is often a great way to achieve more full body orgasm. And then, lastly, what is the function of erogenous zones? Erogenous zones of the body are sexually arousing when touched, but previous investigation of erogenous zones were restricted to the effects of touch on one's own body. However, sexual interaction do not just involve being touched, but also involve touching a partner and mutually looking at each other's body.
Good day everyone, my name is Genesius E. Barcelona and my topic is understanding of the chemistry of lust, love, and attachment. So, the chemistry of love or the science of love, we call it love because it feels like love. But the most exhilarating of all human emotion is probably nature's beautiful way of keeping the human species alive and reproducing. That is love. And with an irresistible cocktail of chemicals, our brain entices us to fall in love. We believe we're choosing a partner, but we may merely be a happy victims of nature's lovely plan. So that is chemistry of love or science of love. So there are three stages of love. The first stage is lust, second is attraction, and the last stage is attachment. So the three stages of love are based from Helen Fisher of Rutgers University of the States. So each stage might be driven by different hormones and chemicals. So the first stage is lust. So this is the first stage of love and is driven by 6 hormones, testosterone and estrogen in both men and women. So testosterone is the testicles and estrogen is the ovaries of a woman. So stage 1 is mostly based on looks of the person, their body figure, their facial or face or their characteristics. So stage 2, attraction. This is the amazing time when you are truly love struck and can think little else. Scientists think that the 3 main neurotransmitters are involved in this stage are the adrenaline, dopamine, and serotonin. So the adrenaline, the initial stage of falling for someone, activates your stress response, increasing your blood levels of adrenaline and cortisol, and this is the charming effect that when you unexpectedly bump into your new love, you start to sweat, your heart races, and your mouth goes dry. So that is the adrenaline. So next one is dopamine. So dopamine is a chemical stimulus desire and wired by the triggering an intense rush of pleasure. So it has same effect on the brain as taking a cocaine. So this is, if you don't know what this is, it's like a drug. So the last one is serotonin. So serotonin is one of the love's most important chemical that may explain why when you're falling in love, your new lovers keep popping into your thoughts. So you always think of your new lovers. So next one is stage 3. So stage 3 is attachment. So attachment is the bond that keeps couples together long enough for them to have children. Scientists think that there may be 2 major hormones involved in this feeling of attachment, oxytocin and vasopressin. So stage 3 is more like a family that the male and the female fully trust to each other, that they already make a children. So that's it. So oxytocin is the cuddle hormone, is a very powerful hormone released by men and women during orgasm, or also known as coming. It probably deepens the feeling of attachment and makes couples feel much closer to one another after they have sex. So that is oxytocin. And vasopressin is another important hormone in the long-term commitment stage and is released after sex. So that is after sex. So that's it. Thank you for watching. So that's all for my topic.
Hi guys, before we go to the topic, let me introduce myself. My name is John Mark Dakay and this is my report. The basic biology of sexual behavior. In human biological, sex is determined by 5 factors present at birth. First, chromosomes. Second, gonad. Third, hormones. Fourth, internal reproductive anatomy. Fifth, external genitalia. That is the 5 factors. Sex is typically divided into male and female or intersex. And I'm gonna tell you about what is the meaning of 5 factors. First, chromosomes. As you can see, there's a picture below me. See? Chromosomes in human male generally have 1 X and Y chromosomes, while female have 2 X chromosomes. The second part is the gonads. The gonads, the primary reproductive organs, are the testes is the male and the ovaries in the female. These organs are responsible for reproductive the sperm and ova, but they also secrete hormones and are considered to be endocrine glands. And now let's go to the third part, hormones. Hormones are produced by the gonads and include both steroid and peptide hormones. The major steroid hormones include estradiol and progesterone from the ovaries and testosterone from the testes. And now, let's go to the next part. The next part is internal reproductive anatomy. The internal genitalia are those organs that are within the true pelvis. These include the vagina, uterus, cervix, uterine, tubes, and ovaries. The external genitalia lie outside the true pelvis. And now this is the last part, the external genitalia. It's kind of funny though, but okay, just watch it, okay? External female genitalia included the opening of the vagina. The vagina is part of the reproductive tract and extended from the womb to outside the body. The fleshy lips around the vagina. And that's all. That's all my topic. I hope you have learned something about it. Okay? Thank you.
Hi guys, hi sir. So my topic for today is all about STD. So what are sexually transmitted disease? Sexually transmitted disease or STD are infections that are passed from one person to another through sexual intercourse. The contact is usually vaginal, oral, and anal sex, but sometimes they can spread through other intimate physical contact. This is because some STDs like herpes and HPV are spread by skin-to-skin contact. These are the common types of STDs. So disclaimer guys, the content you are about to see contains graphic images. Some viewers may find the following images offensive. If so, you are not advised to watch the following. Chlamydia is a common STD that can infect both men and women. It can cause serious, permanent damage to a woman's reproductive system. This can make it difficult or impossible for her to get pregnant later on. Chlamydia can also cause a potentially fatal ectopic pregnancy that occurs outside the womb. Genital herpes. Sexual contact is the primary way that a virus spreads after the initial infection. The virus lies dormant in your body and can reactive several times a year. It can cause sores on your genital or rectal area, buttocks, and thighs. You can get it from having vaginal, anal, or oral sex with someone who has it. Gonorrhea. Gonorrhea infects the mucous membranes of the reproductive tract, including the cervix, uterus, and fallopian tubes in women, and the urethra in women and men. HIV/AIDS, or human immunodeficiency virus, is a virus that attacks the body's immune system. If HIV is not treated, it can lead to AIDS or acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. There is currently no effective cure. Once people get HIV, they have it for life. But with proper medical care, HIV can be controlled. HPV or human papillomavirus. It's the most common sexually transmitted infection. HPV is usually harmless and goes away by itself, but sometimes can lead to cancer or genital warts. Genital warts are caused by the human papillomavirus or HPV, which can be passed on through sex without a condom. It looks like a skin-colored or whitish bumps that show up on your vulva, vagina, cervix, penis, scrotum, or anus. Syphilis. You can get syphilis by direct contact with a syphilis sore during vaginal, anal, or oral sex. You can find sores on or around the penis, vagina, or anus, or in the rectum, on the lips, or in the mouth. Syphilis can spread from an infected mother to her unborn baby. Trichomoniasis. Trichomoniasis is a parasite passes from an infected person to an uninfected person during sex. In women, the most commonly infected part of the body is the lower genital tract, vulva, vagina, cervix, or urethra. In men, the most commonly affected body part is the inside of the penis, urethra. During sex, the parasite usually spreads from a penis to a vagina, or from a vagina to a penis. It can also spread from vagina to another vagina. What causes sexually transmitted disease or STDs? STDs can be caused by bacteria, viruses, and parasites. So who is affected by sexually transmitted disease? Most STDs affect both men and women, but in many cases, the health problems they cause can be more severe for women. If a pregnant woman has a STD, it can cause serious health problems for the baby. What are the symptoms of sexually transmitted disease or STDs? STDs don't always cause symptoms or may only cause mild symptoms. So it is possible to have an infection and not know it, but you can still pass it on into others. If there are symptoms, they could include unusual discharge from the penis or vagina, sores or warts on the genital area, painful or frequent urination, itching and redness in the genital area, blisters or sores in or around the mouth, abnormal vaginal odor, anal itching, soreness, or bleeding, abdominal pain, fever. So how are sexually transmitted disease diagnosed? If you are sexually active, you should talk to your healthcare provider about your risk for STDs and whether you need to be tested. This is especially important since many STDs do not usually cause symptoms. Some STDs may be diagnosed during a physical exam or through microscopic examination of a sore fluid swab from the vagina, penis, or anus. Blood tests can diagnose other types of STDs. Can sexually transmitted disease be prevented? And yes, by the correct usage of latex condoms greatly reduces, but does not completely eliminate, the risk of catching or spreading STDs. If you or your partner is allergic to latex, you can use polyurethane condoms. The most reliable way to avoid infection is to not have anal, vaginal, or oral sex, or skin to skin. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Good day to you, sir. I'm Kent Darby Mabulay from Group 2, and I will be discussing about the development of sex characteristics and human system. So the question is, when do we see or when do we notice the development that is happening on our own body? or ang mga changes na nahitabo sa atong lawas. So my answer to that question is when we hit that puberty stage. So puberty is when a child's body is starting to develop as they become an adult. The average age for girls to hit puberty is 11 years old, while for the boys 12 years old. It's different for everyone, so don't worry. So ayaw ka goal or ayaw ka kulba if you reach that puberty stage before or after your friends or people you know, because it's normal. Always remember that it's completely normal for a puberty to begin at any point from ages 8 to 14. So because the process can take up to 4 years. First sign na ato mabantayan or ato manotice sa changes sa usa ka babae is their breast is starting to develop. So sa Binisaya pa, ang ilang tutoy is starting na nga namukol. So mo na siya ato maginom matikdan bisag sa mga gagmay nga bata. So when they hit that puberty stage, mo develop gid siya. And also pubic hair or sa Binisaya pa mga bulbul is starting to grow. So dili ni nato katawan because it's normal sa atong lawas. It's normal nga makaagita ani. Dili na nato ikaw nga nanalagi siya book. No, that's a big no because nature ni sa atong lawas nga naay changes. So pubic hair will start to grow. So according to a research that I've searched sa Google, notice ang kasagaran man-notice nga mo grows hair is there from arms and their legs. Di man naman ta sa first sign. So ngari na ta sa later signs of puberty in girls. So ngari na gid nato makit-an, or at this point of time we will see now the development jud, like the whole development na jud nga yung lawas sa may naggabag-o na gid ba. So first is ang tutoy, ang breast part. So sa ato kaganina namukol pa man to, karon dagko na gid ang tutoy sa babae. Dili man usually nga out necessarily nga dagko or literally nga dagko. At I mean nga kanang normal size na siya nga boobs ba. Normal size na siya nga boobs. So una, then number 2 is makang-experience na ang girl sa ila first period. So menstruation is now occurring sa ila. So they will experience menstrual cramps, sakit sa puspon kay first gidugo na manggod sila. So part na gyapon na sila. Then pubic hair becomes curlier. So ang bulbul kulong na mukulot ng maayo. So di na nato ikaw kay since ang pubic hair mo na nagprotect sa atong genital na ang atong mga binuhi walay makasunod nga hugaw, walay makasunod nga bacteria, muna siya nag-protect sa atong mga genital nga dili ma-infected sa any kind of bacteria. Then the sunod is underarm hair, mga buhok diri sa ilok is starting to grow. Usa sa nga dili dapat nato ikauwaw kay normal na gid sa atong lawas, normal na gid sa atong ilok nga nay matubo nga hair. Kanindot lang siguro no nga makaingon nga as a girl ha, if ako ang girl makaingon ko nga nindot lang siguro no nga walay manubo nga buhok sa akong ilok kay kapoy kasi shave or kapoy kasi pamunlot. Pero di man nabalik yan, it's nature man sa atong lawas. So we have to accept it and embrace it nga dili dapat nato ikaw kay kita tanan all of us experience it and naanta tanan ana. Then girls are starting to sweat more. So while their body is changing, of course they sweat more. Mga hormones man na siya, mga hormones or mga toxic nga mga hormones mo atong gipagawas, gipa-release nato. Then girls often get acne. So usa sa dili natin ni dapat ikaw nga ang girls or magka bugas-bugas because it's part of our growth. So di gyud nato malikyan makaingon ta nga gibugas siya, so dapat wrong na kay bisag siya or kanang girl wala na niya gigusto nga magkabugas-bugas siya kinsa bay gusto nato taon nga bugason. No one of us wants to have an acne because ang atong self-confidence maapektuhan. The self-confidence na nato nga ikaatubang sa ubang tao mawa because of our acne. So if we see a person nga acne, dili na lang nato siya nga gibugas na lagi ka because siya mismo he noticed or he or she noticed nga na-changes yung lawas, and that's because of the puberty. That's when he hit the puberty stage. So the next one is girls have a white vaginal discharge. So I'm not usually kay baw-ani, but maybe ang ilang iyon siguro is ilang white fluid nga mugawa sa vagina sa babae. So that's completely normal. Then girls go through a growth spurt. So manag-as ang babae, so manag-as ang babae. So based in my experience, ma-share lang ko nga back in my elementary days, girls is more taller than us boys, so mas tag-as sila. But when we move up to high school, mas amo na absan sila. So I can conclude nga girls mas pas mo tubo, pero kadiyot ra ang ilang tubo kaysa boys nga hinay-hinay ang ilang pagtubo, pero at least taas ang time sa ilang pagtubo. Then most girls gain weight which is normal. So kani mayon nga body positivity. So dapat ato na i-bring up because it is normal nga mo gain weight yun ang babae because they hit that puberty stage, kanang maniguran sila kaon, syempre nagtikadako ta atong responsibility, nagtikadaghansad, so daghan na matag lihok unon, daghan na tag buhatonon. So ang atong body, our body needs energy. So where do we get that energy? From food. So ginaman kita mo kaon, or ang babae ginaman kita mo kaon para makahimo or makamit siya sa iyang mga buhatonon. So that's why girls gain more weight. That's the end of my presentation, and one thing that a person or a listener that can take away from my presentation is that the changes, the differences that is happening in our body is completely normal. So we should embrace these changes because it makes us this changes makes us a unique person. Everybody of us has different characteristics, so each of us is unique and we are beautiful in our very own way. That's all, sir.
Hi guys, hi sir. So today we're talking about methods of contraception, the natural method and the artificial method. Methods of contraception, natural and artificial way. The deliberate use of artificial methods or other techniques to prevent pregnancy as a consequence of sexual intercourse. Contraception can be used to prevent pregnancy and sometimes will also protect you from sexually transmittable infections or STIs. So today, we will talk about the natural and artificial birth contraceptions. The natural birth contraceptions. First is calendar rhythm method. The calendar rhythm method to avoid pregnancy relies upon calculating a woman's fertile period on the calendar. Based upon her 12 previous menstrual cycles, a woman subtracts 18 days from her shortest menstrual cycle to determine her first fertile day and 11 days from her longest menstrual cycle to determine her last fertile day. Next is basal body temperature method. The basal body temperature or BBT method is based upon the fact that woman's temperature drops 12 to 24 hours before an egg is released from her ovary and then increases again once the egg has been released. Unfortunately, this temperature difference is not very large. It is less than 1 degree Fahrenheit, about a half degree Celsius, when the body is at rest. Mucus inspection method. The mucus inspection method depends on the presence or absence of a particular type of cervical mucus that a woman produces in response to estrogen. A woman will generate larger amounts of more watery mucus than usual, like raw egg white, just before the release of an egg from her ovary. Next is symptothermal method. The symptothermal method combines certain aspects of the calendar, the basal body temperature, and the mucus inspection methods. Not only are all these factors taken into consideration, but also are other symptoms such as slight cramping and breast tenderness. Ovulation indicator testing kits. A woman can use an ovulation prediction kit to determine when she is most likely to ovulate. This special kit measures the amount of luteinizing hormone or LH in the urine. Withdrawal method. Using the withdrawal method, the man withdraws his penis from a woman's vagina before he ejaculates so that the sperm released from his penis does not enter the vagina. Withdrawal is also called coitus interruptus. Next is lactation infertility. Lactation infertility is based upon the idea that a woman cannot become pregnant as long as she is breastfeeding her baby. It is true that a woman may not ovulate quite as soon after giving birth as she would if she were not breastfeeding. Douching and urination. Vaginal douching is the use of a liquid solution to wash out mucus and other types of bodily debris from a woman's vagina. Many women choose to make regular douching a part of their routine for maintaining vaginal hygiene. Abstinence. Abstinence from sexual activity means not having any sexual intercourse at all. No sexual intercourse with a member of the opposite sex means that there is no chance that a man's sperm can fertilize a woman's egg. And these are the artificial methods of contraception. First is condom. The condom is the only form of contraception that protects against most STIs, as well as preventing pregnancy. The oral contraceptive pill. It's the little tablet taken once a day. The oral contraceptive pill is the most commonly reported method of contraception used by Australian women. Next is intrauterine device. This small T-shaped device is made from material containing progesterone hormone or plastic and copper and is fitted inside a woman's uterus by a trained healthcare provider. The contraceptive implant in this method, a small flexible rod, is placed under the skin in a woman's upper arm, releasing a form of the hormone progesterone. The contraceptive injection. The injection contains a synthetic version of the hormone progestogen. It is given into a woman's buttock or the upper arm, and over the next 12 weeks, the hormone is slowly released into your bloodstream. Emergency contraception pill. The morning after pill. The emergency contraception pill can be used to prevent pregnancy after sex if contraception wasn't used, a condom has broken during sex, or a woman has been sexually assaulted. Contraceptive ring. This method consists of a flexible plastic ring constantly releasing hormone that is placed in the vagina by the woman. It stays in place for 3 weeks, and then you remove it, take a week off, then pop another one in. Diaphragm. A diaphragm is a small soft silicone dome is placed inside the vagina to stop sperm from entering the uterus. Next is sterilization. Sterilization is the process of completely taking away the body's ability to reproduce through open or minimal invasion surgery. That's all, sir. Thank you.